Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is filling in for Jess. If you're just joining us, we're asking 800-585-1051. We're asking if you're dating somebody or even marrying somebody, does your political views have to match, all right? Would it be a problem if your spouse, your man or your girl is voting for Trump and you're on the Kamala side? Does that matter to you? Let's start with you, Lauren. Does it matter to you?
Yes, it matters. I don't necessarily care who people vote for because you have your own reasonings, but I just think that it would cause, just the back and forth that it would cause. If I had the choice, I wouldn't want to go through that. And then also, too, if I'm with you and we're, married and locked in or, planning to be, that goes into how we raise our kids, too. And, because for me in my house, I know that we don't like being held to, what our parents did or whatever. But my mom, for a very long time, I learned a lot of things about politics and how I felt or how I didn't want to feel from her. And I grew up and I made a lot of my own decisions, but my household had a lot to do with my interests. And I don't know, I wouldn't want my kids to be having to pick a side between mommy and daddy.
I don't think it's picking a side. Me and my wife have the same political views, but I wouldn't have a problem if my wife leans towards something else other than something else. That wouldn't define our relationship. In our relationship, we don't agree on everything. So if she likes a particular candidate for a particular reason, I can't be mad at that. That's because that relates to her better than the other candidate does. So to say that I'm not going to marry, I'm not going to date, or we're not going to continue on our relationship because her views on something else is different, especially politically, I don't care. These political people ain't riding for me. They're not dying for me. These are their views, and hopefully these views can help other people. But if there's something that they don't agree with Kamala or something that they don't agree with Trump, I'm not ending my marriage or my relationship based off of that. Charlamagne?
I wouldn't have a problem normally with my partner if we weren't, on the same page politically. I wouldn't care what political party they represent. Personally, I guess I feel like I'm more of a moderate. I don't know. But I think it matters more now because of what MAGA represents. So there are certain things, right? Like if I'm a man and let's say I support MAGA, women's reproductive rights, they've abolished women's reproductive rights, just their views on women. When you think of the childless cat lady comments that a J.D. Vance made, I could see that being an issue. How could you be a man supporting that and you got a wife and you got daughters? Yeah. I think that would cause some pretty big arguments in the house. I think that would cause a house to really, really be divided. So to answer the question, I wouldn't have a problem with my partner being another political party normally, but I think it matters more now because of what MAGA represents.
But that's like saying with Joe Biden and he was the one that helped write the 94 crime law bill. People are upset about that, and people look at that differently. But, like I said, it's just a healthy debate, whether you like it or not. Thank God me and my wife have the same political views, but if she didn't, I can't say, well, I'm ending the marriage because, some people who are, voting for Trump are not voting for Trump because who he is. They might be voting for Trump because of a policy that they like.
That's the thing. I can debate over policy. Yeah. I can't debate over how you actually may feel about women. If you make comments like, women that don't have children basically are less than, or, you take away a woman's right to choose, you take away their reproductive right, that would cause some division in the house. That would be some arguments.
So, I was about to say, y'all both have daughters, right? So it's like when you guys, maybe particularly not you, maybe, your wives are having conversations with your daughters about, when they decide to start having boyfriends and sex and stuff like that. There's a lot of different things that you guys are gonna have to talk to them about, and it does lessen their options. It does. Man. It's just a lot of different things that they're gonna have to face. That it would be very hard coming to one consensus if she believes one thing, which would be obvious because of her politics.
That's what I want to see.
That's the hard part.
I want to see a daddy who's a MAGA supporter, who's got young daughters. And what do you do when the daughter comes to you and says, "Why do you support them when they are the party that abolished women's reproductive rights?"
He's probably going to stand on, I don't know. It's a lot of parents.
But you have to talk to a Trump supporter and see why they're actually supporting Trump.
Because there's a lot of parents who believe in.
That's what you have to ask.
I mean, there's nobody that's a one-issue voter.
Correct.
But so let's just say you ignore the women's reproductive issue because you support him because you like, I don't know, just stance on the economy. But my point is, what do you do when you got a young daughter and she comes to you and asks you about the women's reproductive rights part?
Right.
That's a hell of a discussion.
Well, let's go to the phone lines. We have Diane on line 8. Diane, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, now what's your thoughts? Because you said your house is divided, right?
Yes. Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, Charlamagne.
Good morning.
Oh my God. Good morning. Yes, my house is divided. I'm a Kamala Harris supporter, and my husband is a Trump supporter, although he doesn't really invest himself in politics. So that's that.
And how do you? Is it cool? I heard a kid in the background. Do you have young kids?
I do have young kids. We're a blended family. He comes with 2 children of his own. I have my older son who's serving, and we have 2 children together. So it's difficult when we have to parent and inform our children on certain things because we actually don't see eye to eye. I'm not a Trump supporter for the simple fact of he's an amoral human being, and I have daughters and nieces and cousins to think about.
So, do y'all have arguments?
Sometimes it's gotten heated where I'm there are you serious when he goes and tells me, he's a very great businessman. I was like, a sick bankrupt person is a great businessman? How do you equate that? And sometimes the arguments do get heated, but sometimes I just go, listen, I know we're never gonna see eye to eye on this, but you can't promote somebody like this to our children. It kind of sends them a mixed message. I don't want our boys to even come close to emulating this man.
You say that, and you also got to say, whisper to him, your support of Trump makes me very dry.
Oh.
I'm going to use that next time.
Thank you, Mama. Sound like you used that one in the house before, Diane. All right, let's go. Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, this is Ebonique.
Hey, Ebonique. What's your stance as far as being in a relationship with somebody that may not see eye to eye on political views?
Well, I'm in a relationship with somebody that doesn't have the same political views as me, and it's not a detriment to my relationship.
What's your views, Ebony? What's your views? Tell me what's your views first.
I'm a Democrat. I 100% believe in women's rights as a woman myself, as a black woman.
Absolutely. Okay.
But it's not a detriment to my relationship. It allows us to actually have, healthy conversation. I get to see life through his eyes or, the way in which he sees it. It gives me things to think about, and I'm not necessarily worried about who I'm laying next to. If this person is going to wake up and be somebody else because he really stand on his business, like his views and the way that he sees things. So it really allows me a real choice as to whether or not I'm going to, be with this person and the outlook on life in our future. So I feel like it shouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, just because I like steak fries and he like hash browns don't mean we should hate potatoes. It's the same thing. Like we have to live in this country.
I'm just asking questions. I'm not judging. I don't really care either way. I'm just asking questions. You said that you care about women's rights, so I'm assuming he's a Trump supporter, right?
Yes, he is.
So
not like a diehard, but he just sees things. Certain things that Trump does, he agrees with.
But we see the attack on women's reproductive rights, right? That they've waged, and abolished Roe v. Wade. So what does he say about that in regards to your stance?
Well, what I've just found out recently, we had that conversation, but we never would have had it if he didn't disagree with my views. So now, being a man, of course, his whole life, he doesn't or did not see the way that I see reproduction. He sees it as like, oh, you're pregnant, you should have it, and that is murder, whatever. And then when I give him my stance on it and, the way a woman may feel or the actual process and things of that nature, the history of it, because he wasn't given that, it gives him something to think about. He's not so extreme with his thinking now that he sees or hears a different point of view. And I'm the same way. I can't, I'm not so rah-rah about disliking the Republican Party when he's giving me his reasons as to why he agrees with what they stand for. True. I can't be mad at that. It's a healthy relationship. Every relationship has debate, I would hope, but healthy debate.
Healthy dialogue. I like that.
800-585-1051. Could you be in a relationship or date somebody that you don't see eye to eye on political views? Let's discuss this. The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, Lauren LaRosa is filling in for Jess. And if you're just joining us, 800-585-1051. We're asking, could you be in a relationship with somebody if you don't see eye to eye on political views?
Now, Lauren came up with this topic, which is crazy because, I would think any topic about being in a relationship would be triggering to her. But
Triggering?
Huh?
Why would it be triggering?
I'm sorry. I was talking.
When you are a young, beautiful, intelligent woman with all of her life ahead of her, potentials, why would it be triggering?
Potential what?
Potentially, you need to stop minding my business.
Wow.
That's what it's giving, okay?
Well, let's go to the phone lines. We have Orlando on the line. Orlando, good morning.
What up, DJ Envy? Hope all is well with you. Hello, Charlamagne, and to that young lady. How y'all doing?
Peace, Orlando. Are you calling from Florida?
Nope, I'm calling from the D. What up, though?
Okay, what up, D?
He said, what up, D? What up, D? Jesus. Now, what's your opinion, Orlando?
Charlamagne be on that stuff.
Worry about the wrong stuff
He
all
be
the
on that stuff all
time.
the time.
I'm going to be honest with you. Something wrong with me.
As soon as you said the D, he was confused. But go ahead, bro.
But basically, in my opinion, I believe you got a few different aspects of it. First, if you are different races, so if I'm a black man, which I am, and I'm married to a white woman, I don't think it would work if we have different political views. Because say she's Republican and I'm Democrat, and how Toya Mallory just came up there.
Tamika Mallory.
Talked about a police kill. Tamika Mallory. Sorry about that. And she talked about a police killing. You go home, try to talk to your wife. Y'all might have different ideas.
That's
now,
right.
If you're married to somebody that's black, I think people evolve because my experience, I've been a Democrat all my life until the last election. I voted green. And the older I become, the more money I'm making. I have more Republican views and conservative views than I do Democratic views now. And my wife, she's not too political, but I'm certain she's still Democrat. And since I'm more political, it's not a regular conversation in our household too much. We debate about something, but it really don't affect our marriage at all.
I think there's nuance to that, though, because I don't know if you necessarily have conservative views. You just might believe with some conservative economic policies. I don't believe you have conservative views overall.
Right. Now, Gino is here.
And he hung up on the guy.
Yeah, because we got to get to
Hello.
a caller. Gino, good morning.
Hello. Good morning. What up, though? This is Gino. What up, though, Charlamagne? What up, though, Envy? What up, though, Lauren?
You calling from on top of the D.
Oh, my goodness.
Look
Go
at
ahead,
you.
brother.
You see,
Knowing
calling
you
from
about 'em.
Detroit. But yeah, I just want to comment on the topic, and I believe, you should, if you're in a relationship, and you should, you know what I'm saying, like go the same way. I believe as the head of the household, whether that's a man or whether that's a woman, you know what I'm saying. But am I going to force you to do that? No, I'm not a controlling person, not in that way. You know what I'm saying. You should have the option to do that. It shouldn't be a competition and you be combative and just to do it just to go against that person.
Okay.
I agree.
I think there's a lot of nuance
bro.
in the answers that we're getting this time versus what I felt like people felt like a few years ago. Why y'all think that is? It's a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing too.
I think people are paying attention a little bit more, and they're more politically sophisticated. But what I would say, if you're paying attention more in 2024 than you were in 2020, I don't see how you could be a man in a relationship with a woman and support Donald Trump. Just because of everything he's done to attack women's reproductive rights. Then you get a vice president in J.D. Vance who says things like, childless cat women shouldn't be able to vote because they don't really care about the future because they're not invested in it. As a man with a wife and daughters, I don't see how you can support that.
Got you. Yeah.
But people aren't one interest voters either, though. So, they might have other interests. I don't know.
A lot of people feel that Trump is a businessman and he runs the country like a business. A lot of people feel like Trump is very America first. A lot of people feel like Trump will cut tax rates. So people look at different sides. I'm with Charlamagne when it comes to as far as women's rights, but people look at what's best for them as far as policy are concerned. And if it's in a relationship, it is what it is.
I do like the households that can have healthy discussions about
You
it.
should be able to have debates and not.
Healthy discussion is different because I honestly don't even see how the discussion could be healthy because the way that the politicians set each other up, everything is so divisive now.
It's true.
But if you could do it healthy, I think maybe that's a good example for the kids. I just keep thinking about like, how do you raise your kids? Because I just remember growing up and like,
yeah, your kids make their own decision.
It was such a big thing. I think
my daughter's 22 years old. Madison's 22. We talk about everything in the house. And now, if she says, "Dad, I want to go this way," or "Dad, I believe in this candidate," I'm not going to say, "Well, get out my house." That's her opinion. That's what her thoughts. That's what we raise our kids to do. To be thinkers that, you think outside the box. Think what you believe. Don't be a sheep. Don't follow the crowd. You do your research and you think how you want to think. You come up with your opinion based off of your research, not anybody else.
But that young lady who called did make a good point. She said that when she feels a way about her husband's views or her husband feels a way about her views, they have a discussion about it, and sometimes they can see where the other person is coming from.
Correct.
That's all I care about. If you make a decision, I'm fine with your decision as long as it's coming from an informed place.
That's right.
All
right. Well, we got Jess with the Mess with Lauren LaRosa coming up.
Yes, we do. Steve Harvey threw some subliminals, not really even subliminals, threw some shots back at Cat Williams. And he also commented on, not directly though, but he commented on what I think was Mike Rubin's comments up here about the black community hating on each other.
Okay. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.